them all mayonnaise. I ain't got $7.50 to pay. Everybody now.
Couples retreat.
Couples should retreat from this film.
Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba.
Well, no, I'm being serious. This is not a good film for couples,
No.
really. But I tell you what, if there's ever a movie that exposed all the problems in relationships and provided absolutely no answers, this is the one.
And can I just say, damn, Faison Love is fat.
How can you be that big and still get hot chicks? White people don't have that. We don't have that at all. It's like, I don't know anything black guys with as hot girls as you see fat black guys
No,
with.
you are right about that. They have a scene where Faison Love takes his shirt off. He looks like a mountain.
Man, they must have used wires or something to hold his stomach up over his waistline line, because you can tell that
His waistland?
His waistland.
You
That's what
can't
it
find
is.
that dick under all that. His dick might as well be a wasteland. No, Jason Bateman is married to, what's her name?
Kristen Bell.
And he goes and he tells all his friends, he's like, look, my wife and I, we're getting a divorce because she can't have a baby. But we want to work this out. So we found this package to a couples retreat island. The only thing is, we get a better deal if it's a group rate. We can't afford to go on our own, so I'm just going to guilt all you guys into coming with us.
I'm gonna act like a huge dick.
Now, when they get to the island, they think that they're just going to have all the time to do whatever they want to do. They're going to have time to go out and go jet skiing, swimming, fishing.
Which is how it should be.
Well, yeah, they're looking at it like a timeshare.
Their host comes out and says, because they're saying, oh, you know what? I'm going to sleep all day. And the guy's like, actually, you're going to get up at 6 in the morning and we're going to do counseling, activities to work on your marriage, all kind of bullshit that we didn't tell you in the fine print.
Couple skill building at 6 a.m.
Yeah, see, I was planning on sleeping in and then maybe hitting the jet skis.
That is not part of your immediate program here at Eden West.
It was in the slideshow.
That would be more appropriate at the Eden East,
What's Eden East?
the singles resort.
Singles resort.
Here at the Eden West, our focus is on renewing bonds and nurturing neglected partnerships.
And what's your focus over there?
Sex, mostly. Freeing inhibitions.
Sure, if we play our cards right, we'll be having plenty of sex here on our side. Am I wrong, gang?
It's all rounded off by a marriage guru played by Jean Reno, looking like a cross between Bruce Lee and John Lennon, and some weird Puerto Rican muscle man who might be doing more harm than good to relationships.
There's so many people in this movie I like, and it's such a great premise, and it's set up for so many great jokes. But then when it plays out, yeah, I'm getting some chuckles here and there, but not enough to sustain the full hour and a half or 2 hours.
And all the set pieces are like Shaggy Dog jokes.
Yeah.
It's like they start off like, oh, it's funny, and you're laughing at them, but then they go on for like 4 or 5 minutes, and then there's no real ending to them. They just go, and they just go, well, that's all we got.
It's a comedy that relies on a lot of broad humor, such as sex jokes, toilet jokes,
I peed.
and a lot of silly physical humor. Now, some of that can be funny, and I did laugh, but then there are scenes that are like that go on way too long. Like, for example, the one that involved that big old perverted muscle guy, Salvatore, who does nothing but stick his ass in people's faces.
I enjoyed it, actually. I wasn't in love with it. I think it takes way too long to get around to getting us on the island. There's way too much setup that is unnecessary. And it really, we know what the gag is. You just need to get them to the island quicker. But once you get there, there's a lot of good jokes there. It's funny. And really what the film's about is it's about how couples forget to communicate.
And it was a little weird in this movie to see Vince Vaughn as the responsible family man who just wants to do the right thing. I was like waiting for him to break out of that tightly restrained shell.
It's him not wanting to get pigeonholed.
No, the thing about this film is written by Vince Vaughn and Jon Favreau, who of course have written together for now a decade and a half,
Right.
and it's directed by their longtime producer
Ralphie
Boy, Peter Billingsley, and if you track all the films they've written, each of their films highlights kind of a different point in their life.
There are so many talented people involved in this cast, which is rounded out by Christian Davis and Marlene Ackerman, that it makes the script seem even that much worse. The coincidences at the end of this movie are so ridiculous and so bad that it makes you wonder if the filmmakers aren't high-fiving themselves and saying, can you believe people are going to pay to see this shit? On the other hand, it's really hard not to like Vince Vaughn and the rest of the crew and get some good laughs, so I'm going to give this a nice little rental.
Okay, well, I've seen all this before, and I've seen it done better. But, you know, in the end of it, all I could do was say, wow, this is at best a rental, really.
In a lot of ways, it just had too many characters. Like, it diluted everybody so much. There's so many ways it could have been better. It could have been something. I'm going to go with a rental.
It was adorable. And there are scenes in the movie where it's just Jon Favreau, Vince Vaughn, and Jason Bateman. And that's, there's three funny guys I like seeing in a room together. I thought it was funny enough to make it a low matinee.
And not to nitpick, but what kind of couples counseling involves a place where they make you strip in front of your friend's spouse, throw you in an ocean full of sharks, and allow some weird Puerto Rican dude to fondle your wife? This is not couples counseling. This is a really weird swingers club that I'd really like to visit someday.
And suddenly we learned something important about Corey's relationships.
Trying to make